Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum.
Where our entertainment is our comfort food.
And this is episode 40.
And this is an extra
Yep.
in the month of December because we have a 5-Monday month.
So we record a leftovers episode in months that have those 5 Mondays,
Yes.
just so we can have something every week.
Yes. And want to point out at the end of our Christmas stuff, I forgot to point it out in other ones. I hope you can see above us our decorated Shin Godzilla.
There you go. Yeah, we
little
got
Christmas hat. Doesn't show up as well because of the lighting in here with the orange wall that we have. But my cases behind us have our red and green lights on.
Oh yeah.
Had to have them locked into orange and blue for the last, I don't know how many weeks. And the orange does not show up at all against the orange wall. So it
Orange
looks
against orange, yeah.
But that was because I was riding UVA's streak of good luck. And I had my orange and blue lights on for them.
Had to keep it on.
They finally lost the game, so I swapped them blue and orange on the other side, and that got them through the rest of the season, where they have finished a 10-win season. They beat Tech, which they hardly ever do, and they're playing in the ACC championship game. I figured I burned all the good luck out of my lights in the back as possible.
I'm sure they appreciate it.
I 100% believe I'm solely responsible for all their success with the lighting. But it's Christmas time. I don't have a lot of Christmas outfits, so we Christmased up behind us here. Yeah. So Shin is feeling the spirit. We
should take a picture of that and post it on X.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Happy holidays from Appalachian Dim Sum.
We were actually going to look for that when we were shooting the earlier part of this earlier this year.
It'd be the first 2 episodes.
He's like, do you have a Santa hat? I'm like, yeah, it's right out there. I usually keep it on our deer head that's just around the corner. And I went outside and there was no hat there. And I was like, am I not remembering this right? And I have some kind of, I've been imagining a deer, like a Santa hat on this deer for the last year. My daughter had actually taken it that morning to go wear it for they were making a calendar for her job to give to their boss. So they were taking pictures around their work trucks and all this other stuff. And she took it for that. And of course, she came back in that afternoon after Randy had left with a Santa hat in her hand. And I had this look on my face like,
there it is.
Well, there it is. And she was like, what? I was like, never mind. It's not worth explaining.
There seems to be a weird thing where sometimes the time you want something is when it's not available. If you didn't want it, it would have been available. If I didn't want a Santa hat, it would have been on there.
She probably needed to like dust cobwebs and actual dust off of that. It's been sitting there for that long. I've stuck it on the deer head around the corner because it was like, that's a good place to keep that, I guess. And it looks funny when you come in the house to see a deer with a Santa Claus hat. And he has my dad's old Army Reserve helmet from Texas. Has that on there as well. And I think there's a fly swatter hanging off a horn. So that's about as Appalachian as you get when you come into the house and see something like that. They got like a back scratcher and a fly swatter hanging off a deer head. But we also generally try to include some foods, some local things, or something that is thematic with what we're doing. This is leftovers, and it's kind of...
This month was the Fisher King, and so there was a couple of food-related items from the movie.
There were dumplings and mushu pork, and then the fruit pies, all related to the movie. Watch the movie, you'll get all those references. And it was like leftovers, like there's nothing left in the Fisher King. So my wife, when she was going into town, we've had it in early shows. The Little German Baptist Heritage Market makes all kinds of amazing homemade stuff there. Mm-hmm. She was going into town yesterday. I'm like, will you just grab me something that's like Christmas candy or food or something there? And she's like, yeah, okay. When she walked in, I think this might have been the first thing she saw. She brought us, what were they called? Peppermint
Bark.
Peppermint Bark.
Yeah.
So we can try those as we proceed.
Absolutely.
Get a piece.
We'll show a picture of it. This doesn't really show up on the camera because we're too far away.
Yeah. We're going to eat it. Yeah. We can take a picture of it as well before we mess it up so we can post it later. I was getting ready to say they're not going to last long enough to get a picture, but
nope. There you go. I took a picture of it. We're good to go.
There we go. Now they're fair game.
Yep.
Pretty sure it's just peppermint and white chocolate and
Oh, it looks like the layers of chocolate. Actually, it looks like maybe
Yeah,
layers of dark and white chocolate.
and it's very hard.
That's why it's called bark. Oh, jeez. There we go.
Might be hard to do this on camera. I
Crunch,
might be
crunch,
sitting here
crunch,
going like,
crunch.
"Arr, arr, arr."
Yeah, if you hear crunching, that's what it is, peppermint bark. But in this leftovers episode, we kind of thought about different ways to maybe look forward into the next year, look back into the previous year. So that's kind of what we decided to do. We're going to do like a year in review. We're going to look at the films that came out this past year. Might touch on some notable TV shows.
That's really good, by the way.
Yeah, it looks good.
What I was thinking, we didn't collab too much on this.
No.
Was that we look at what the top 10 box office films were for the year. And then I kind of had a little mini list of a couple things. I had good films that I did not see that I want to see, films that were reviewed well, had a positive response, seemed like they're worth seeing. I have a short list of ones that I looked forward to seeing and that I did see, and I was pretty massively disappointed by. Some of those I did see, some of those I did not see. That's a mix on that list. And then I just kind of did my top 3 watches for the year. We'll get into those, and I split that also into little subcategories. There were films. There was lots of anime releases in theaters this year. I kind of separated those out. And then this year, especially, it's kind of amazing when you go look at the box office. Some of the top producing things were all re-releases, and how much theater revenue and money came from just re-releasing old properties. And that is probably a pretty massive indictment on the film industry as a whole.
Well, I've long thought that theaters, since COVID, they really need to be releasing, and they have done it some. They've had like Fathom events at Regal. I told you about how I didn't go see The Fifth Element because it wasn't a part of the Regal thing, which the next time it comes out, I'll definitely see it no matter what. I want to see The Fifth Element again in theaters. But they need to start releasing on a regular basis, maybe set aside one theater and just have older movies in it.
Yeah, and do it at a discount.
Yeah.
That's
like we talked about A Wonderful Life. Like, I would love to see It's a Wonderful Life on the big screen. That would be amazing.
If I could do it for $5 even, a ticket, I'd be glad to just take the family to go do it. I think I was complaining about the last movie we saw together was The Running Man. It costs $15.
$15. Oh.
And it's like, that's, even if I was like the best movie I'd ever seen and I was really thrilled with that, I'd be like, wow, you imagine if I took a group of 4 or 5 people to see this, I'd be over 100, over $100 to go do this. And it's just not, it's movies. It's really not worth that kind of expense.
My issue is, if I was just seeing movies in the theater, that'd be one thing.
Yeah.
And paying for that, I'd be fine. But my issue is the way they have the theaters and the digital releases at this point. It's so quick that after a movie is out of the theater, it's like 2 or 3 months before it's available on streaming. Yeah. I don't have a lot of virtues, but I'm patient. I am a pretty patient person. Yeah. I can wait for things. So convincing me to go to the theater, and really one of the reasons I saw any movies in the theater this year was for this. I want to talk about it on this.
Yeah.
But convincing me to spend the money to go to the theater, in a theater that I don't really care for. I've complained about our local theater anyway.
Yeah.
It's a tall order, man.
What movie did we see that we sat under a crackling speaker? Do you remember which one that was? It was earlier this year. It wasn't Superman. I don't remember.
No, Superman was like, was it one of the Godzillas?
Or it might have even been, it wasn't 28 years later. I can't remember what it was.
I feel like it was before that.
Maybe it was the Dan to Dan.
Maybe.
I think it was.
I'm gonna look at my Regal app, because last time I looked at it, it wouldn't tell me what movies I had seen.
But we literally sat kind of up high in our theater. There's a little place with a railing, so you can sit on this little outcropping of seats, and you can have a little railing to put your feet on. It's kind of the most comfortable place to sit in our local theater. And the speaker directly above us was crackling with the sound. It was like a busted speaker that they hadn't replaced. And I was like, gosh almighty, man, are we watching a movie in in Roanoke, or are we in Columbia?
I feel it might have been. I think it might have been Dan to Dan.
I think it was. It was early this year, and I think that was one of the first things we saw together this year. But yeah, this general statement. This was a year full of bombs, man. It was. It may have been. I don't really have a way to really quantify that because I wasn't keeping track of this throughout my whole 50 years here. But this is the worst year of films in my lifetime that I can remember, at least since I've been paying attention to it. And I don't say that with any reservation at all. When you see my top films here, if you see that this is the best that I was able to draw out of this year, I think you understand why I say, wow, this was just a bad year for films. And had a couple bright spots in it, but
you just want to go down.
You want to hit the top 10 real quick?
All right.
This is the top 10 domestic box office for 2025.
Say the movie, and we'll say whether or not we even saw it.
Yeah. Well, number one was the Minecraft movie.
No,
that was 423 million.
Which, man, for that being the highest grossing movie of the year is sad.
I think that seems like that's low compared to when you go back to like Terminator 2 and that era of films. That would have been a disappointment back then. But no, did not see it. And number two is Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake of a cartoon,
which is it's just a sad indictment of moviegoers in general, that the second most profitable movie for the whole year was a remake of a film, an animated film that's perfectly fine,
and calling it a live action when it was just animated to look like people.
It's CG.
It's just, yeah, that was just behind it, just by a couple $100,000. And the dollar amount doesn't matter on all these. I won't list all of those. And I did watch the live action Lilo and Stitch with my family. Same comment I've had for years regarding these live action remakes. The original is there. Just watch the original. There's nothing wrong with Lilo and Stitch. And there's actually like some changes they made to the live action, like the way the aliens are, like in Lilo and Stitch, the two aliens come and they like watch Lilo and with Stitch, and they're trying to get Stitch, and the whole time they're like hiding behind stuff and they're wearing stupid disguises, and for some reason people don't see them as aliens because they have a hat and glasses on that doesn't fit right. In the live action film, they just have like holographic projectors and they look like people. I'm like, that takes away from the film. Yeah.
And that's not even like an ideological thing where I'm not complaining about it being woke or something. It's not even that. It's a bad creative decision.
Yeah.
And pretty much every single live action film I've seen, it's just that. It's just either you're just doing exactly what's in the animated film, or you're changing it in a way that makes it actively worse.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid did not have the Sebastian scene in the kitchen.
Was that the
or it did
some of these I haven't even seen the original.
I think maybe the song was different.
I haven't even seen the original Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, okay, it was a great little film.
What was the one with the bird that came in to sing the song that was just so annoying? Was that
was Little Mermaid?
That was Little Mermaid. Like they added that in. Like,
yeah.
What did that do other than just grate?
Oh, that's right. They did. Yeah, they did add a whole song. Yeah.
So
yeah, it just and it frustrates me because there will be more. I don't know what they're going to do when they run out of animated films to make live action, but there will be more because it's so profitable.
I'm going to finish out the top 5.
Sorry.
I'll let you do 6 through 10 because I need another bite of this, and I'm sitting here staring at it, and I can't talk with my mouth full.
Okay.
Number 3 was Superman.
Saw it.
Which we actually did see.
Yep.
Number 4 was Jurassic World Rebirth.
Did not see it.
On my list of ones I wanted to see and did not see it. Number 5 was Sinners.
Did see it.
Which we did see. Mm-hmm. We actually saw that together.
Yep. That wasn't. I'm pretty sure that was not the one with the crackling speaker.
No. Yeah.
All right, and then there we have Fantastic Four: First Steps. Neither of us saw it. Mm-hmm. And then Wicked for Good. That just released on November 17th, and that was number 7 for the year. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Did not see it. Not really interested. Not my cup of tea. That's how I'll say it. I'm not a part of that audience.
No.
How to Train Your Dragon. Again, another live action remake of an animated. And this one's even worse because Lilo and Stitch was hand drawn animation, and then they made like a live action but mostly CG film. This is a CG film where they made a CG film that just looks more like reality.
And this is a list, excuse me, that we pulled up, boxofficemojo.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's the top 200 that has this whole thing listed out by how long they were in theaters or what they opened at for that weekend and how much they made.
Mm-hmm.
This is the top 10.
Yeah.
This is the best of 200 movies. There's more movies than this that came out this year, but this is the top 200. And that was How to Train Your Dragon was number 8, right?
Number 8. Number 9 was Captain America: Brave New World. I did see that.
That was the thing with the Red Hulk.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not
with
see
Anthony
that.
Mackie as Captain America.
So it really wasn't even a Captain America movie.
Well, he was Captain America, but it's a new Captain America.
Yeah.
Then Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which I also saw.
I would have seen that, and we were trying to catch up to the series on Prime. They were all there, and then the month changed and they went away, and we didn't get caught up in time. So I was like, I understood that this was kind of the final half of a second movie, or the second part of a sort of a 2-part finale. I never got to see the first, and I didn't get to see the couple in front of it. So I just kind of bailed on the idea of trying to do them all. We were watching them and enjoying them, I guess, but they weren't our thing. I don't think we'd watch one each night that we had free trying to catch up on the series and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like, wow, that was really cool last night. And there wasn't any conversation about it. It wasn't
gripping you, or
wasn't really coming back to it and thought or anything. It was just like, it was a thing. So it wasn't a series that I was crazy about to begin with. I was just trying to slog through it so I could get to going to go see this. And I appreciate the whole thing of Tom Cruise putting the effort into his things and doing these elaborate stunts. And I kind of wanted to see that on the big screen. Yeah. That was the whole reason I was even trying to get there. I don't know if we got to 4 or 5 before we lost some of the access to the other ones. There's going to be little pieces of peppermint everywhere. When you break these things apart, there's just little peppermint explosions.
I've always liked the Mission Impossible films. I still think the first one was probably the best of them all, because they were kind of playing it straight the whole time. It was just a spy movie. And then from the second one on, it was more about this. It was the spectacle of it. Yeah. You know, it was like the bombastic nature of these stunts that he was doing.
Actually, how I was going to be able to relay the one that I liked the most was the one where he was running down the building from the outside.
Yeah, that was cool.
I don't even know which one that was, but that was cool.
Yeah, I think that might have been the third one.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed all of the Mission Impossible films, but much in the same way that a baby enjoys dangling keys.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at Tom Cruise go. It's fun. Sometimes you're not necessarily wanting something to.
You kind of throw them into a category like the Bourne movies and maybe the Equalizer movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I guess.
I think they call them like political thrillers or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Of all those, we probably got more attracted to the Equalizer series. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're really 6-1, half a dozen the other. You could be like, I love the Equalizer, but I don't like Mission Impossible. And you could be like, well, I like Mission.
Yeah.
It's not a lot different. It just depends on your taste of the tone of the movie and the actors and stuff involved. And
well, there's a handful of actors that I've gotten criticism for saying it this way. I enjoy them. That's how I feel. I enjoy this person. I enjoy their work. I will watch something just because I like seeing them do things.
If you're pitting Denzel against Tom Cruise, I mean, you're comparing Wagyu beefs at that point. They're the best that have probably lived in our lifetime. And if you have a preference for one over the other, it really, you're not going wrong either way. It's just sort of
as much as I like Tom Cruise, and I agree with the people who say things like he's the last Hollywood star kind of thing. Sure, I get that. I understand that argument. Man, if you had, that's not a hard choice to make for me, man. Denzel, goodness.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite movies of all time. Fallen. I mean, to me, that is the perfect film.
Maybe that'd be an idea for a show later down the road, is just a versus.
Yeah.
Compare
the
filmography.
Yeah.
Do a little UFC square off thing and
ding ding.
you can go through and list them one by one. It's like even movies that weren't great movie ideas, they kind of drag them into decency because they just make the films better.
Yeah, they're definitely actors and actresses that their presence elevates the film, and sometimes it's like a bit part.
If you took like one I come back to is because it's one of the only ones that we owned with the oh good gosh, the thing where he goes out west. He's a fighter that comes from Ireland, comes over here and he fights Far and Away. Took me you said Fallen. I had Fallen in my head. My brain just at this point in the day can't process multiple things, but Far and Away, if you swap him out for somebody else from that time frame, it's probably an awful movie that nobody watches. And I rewatched it all the time because he made it good. I love the fight sequences where he's boxing when he comes to Boston. And then when they go out west and they have the land grab, the land race and stuff, it's just kind of a ridiculous movie, probably, honestly. But again, if that had been somebody else, been the wrong actor, it probably would not have even made it through watching it one time. But it's the power of Tom Cruise. Save us, Tom Cruise.
Do you want to go through anything else for the top movies?
I think that's the top 10. I think you can, some of the other movies we're going to talk about as we go, we can see where they kind of land on there and stuff if you want to. But
sure. Yeah, I'm going through this list and it's like, oh yeah, I did see that. Oh yeah, I saw that too.
It blows me away. You get down to like the bottom of some of the stuff. I mean, or not even the bottom, the middle range of it, or like.
I mean, 53 is Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. That was a 53rd most profitable film this year.
Re-releases of Ghibli movies were $6 and $7 million releases, and it's like there's no expense to that at all. That movie was made decades ago, and it's already run through the box office several times. It just gets recycled, and every year, a movie that you made 25 years ago makes another $7 million because you release it. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to quickly just go through, and if you'd like to do the same, I'm going to go through and just name off some films that kind of pop out of this list that I wanted to see that I did not see.
Well, I've got that. This was the ones that I picked off of it.
Yeah.
The good films, air quotes, that I wanted to see and I did not see. And I say that because I really had to start picking and choosing as the year went on, because it's like I just couldn't afford to go do a $15 to $20 thing. And if I hate to always go see a movie by myself, if I take the wife or take a couple kids, then it turns into a $70 and $80 thing. And I don't mind doing it for something we all want to do together. But I really became very discerning as the year kind of went on of that, especially after you go and you spend your money on one that's bad, that I'm not doing that again.
Well, it's not only the monetary cost, it's the time cost.
It's the time cost, and especially with me, a lot of these films were getting releases when we're in the middle of weeks of back-to-back shows. And we come back home and have a couple days at home and be like, hey, you want to go see a movie? And be like, no.
Yeah, you want to spend 4 hours trying to fit a movie into your schedule that you may or may not like, and it's going to cost you $15.
I'm exhausted, and if this thing's 2.5 hours, the chances I can make it through it, stay awake, and me spend money to do that, it's like, now how about I stay at home and take a nap and don't spend any money? But the good films for the year that I wanted to see that I did not see were, of course, Nuremberg. I've heard that was an excellent film. I did not get a chance to see it, and that was here pretty recent. I think that was here in like the last month or two. Up towards the top, F1. I really wanted to see that, and it hit us in the middle of show season because it was in the summertime, I guess, when it came out.
Yeah. I completely forgot about the film. I did see F1.
F1 was number 12 on the list, so it almost was there.
It was great.
I wanted to see it.
Really good.
Did not get there. Weapons, I wanted to see it. I think it was up here towards the top as well. It was actually 15th. It was 15th.
I saw that as well. It was that Weapons has made me a fan of the director, because the same guy who did Barbarian.
Yeah.
And after Barbarian, it was like, he's got something, but I don't know.
And we've got the one coming next year. That's kind of the next step for them, and hopefully maybe it gets them there. What was that thing called? We looked at it on one of our shows.
Let's see. Is it from the same director?
The thing about the police officer.
Is it the same director?
Yeah, I don't know if it's director, because they say from the people that brought you Barbarians and Weapons. So I don't know which people they're talking about, but.
Oh no, internet.
But
There it is. There it is. Zach. What's his name? Zach Krieger? Zach Krieger. Let's see. Let's look at his upcoming. That might tell us what it is. Is it about police?
I think it's the thing where like the lady and the guy were both officers, and he gets killed, and like she goes like crazy, and goes on like a revenge horror movie thing. I forget what it was called. We looked at the trailer, I think, back.
Resident Evil. That's not it.
No.
No. Wait, it's not the
Is it a Sam Raimi thing?
the Sam Raimi where they're like on an island?
No.
Yeah, that's the Sam Raimi one.
No, okay.
I can't help you.
Same studio. I don't remember what it was called. But there's another one coming from these same groups of people. I'm not sure, writer, director, producer, or
Probably
whoever.
producer.
But so hopefully they've got more stuff coming, and hopefully they kind of keep improving, because I think if Weapons was
Psycho Killer?
Yes.
Yes. That looks insane.
And Weapons, I think my understanding was an improvement over Barbarian. So hopefully
it is.
Hopefully
it
Psycho Killer maybe is an improvement over Weapons.
Yeah.
So I like to see them grow and make good films if that's what they keep doing. Good Boy, I didn't get to see. I heard a lot of people say that was good.
I really wanted to see that, but I don't know, man. I couldn't be in a situation where I can't pause a film if it has a dog that might seem like they get hurt.
Yeah. Then of course Sisu 2, which
mm-hmm.
It might still be in theaters, but again, we're getting ready for another show. So
I still haven't watched the first one.
By the time that we would get back from this next one, I'm sure it won't be in theaters. And then the last one was one we profiled kind of early. It was that Caught Stealing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Darren Aronofsky movie with the guy that played Elvis in the Elvis movie.
That looks great. That looks great.
I wanted to see that. I missed all of those guys, so those were my misses.
Mm-hmm.
Good Boy, Sisu, Caught Stealing, I think we're kind of lower down the list, but I expected them to be low down the list in terms of box office, because they are a horror movie with a dog as the main protagonist. Is going to be a smaller audience. Sisu is everything I've seen about Sisu is it's good, but it's just basically it's an extension of the first movie. It's a little bit more bombastic action. Same thing. That's fine. That's what I want. I don't want you to change that whole narrative or plot structure if it's an old dude that's just being a badass and fighting people and blowing things up in insane ways. I'm like, yep, I'm good with that. And that was my list of guys that I wanted to see that I did not. The next one was kind of a mix of ones that I looked forward to. Some of them I did see, some I did not because of various things, and they were all pretty much disappointments.
Well, you saw that was disappointing. All right. Well, let me go through the ones that pop out at me here that I'm like, wow, I wish I would have seen that, but I didn't. All right. So the first one, and these aren't necessarily films that I didn't see that are critically acclaimed or people say are good. Just ones I'm like, hey, I wanted to see that, but I didn't. Predator Badlands. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that in the theaters, probably mostly because it was so divisive. Like, I mean, I saw people who were like, this is the second best or best Predator film they've ever made. And I've seen people that say this is dog crap. I'm like, okay, so.
That's on my disappointment list.
Okay.
I can elaborate on that now or later, whichever way you want to.
We'll talk. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about on the disappointment list.
I was looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
Saw that trailer with the weird little Predator design. Was like, yeah, okay, I'm not sure about that. But that was predated by the Killer of Killers that they decided to release on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be the thing to sort of set up this excitement for the Predator universe. You can go back and watch whatever episode we did where we talked about Killer of Killers.
You did not like that.
I did not like it at all. That killed my excitement over the Predator franchise. And at that point, I was just like, I knew that Alien Earth was coming. I knew that Predator Badlands was coming. And after seeing what they did in Killer of Killers, I was like, come on, guys. You see that Disney gets a property. You're like, are they going to destroy another one? Yep. And then it's like, the answer is, yes, we are.
Well,
Killer Killers just completely, any excitement I had for anything they're going to do in the future of that. I don't care how good Badlands was. I'm like, it's in your hands now, and it's not. I'm not doing it. It's
we
not.
we spoke earlier about making PG-13 versions of R-rated things by like essentially castrating them, and that I feel like that's what they probably did with Predator Badlands. I did see Prey, and that's by the same guy, and
I enjoyed Prey.
I thought Prey was pretty good.
I thought Prey was kind of ridiculous at times. The
Yeah.
Indians and settlers were fighting these guys, these aliens with this technology, and fighting them with tomahawks and little bows that don't have the strength of half of like a compound bow that we hunt deer with today. I let all that go to enjoy the story because it was well put together, had some really good visuals, good special effects, and I was like, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
And
one thing that Star Wars has taught me is I don't have to enjoy every part of every media. So I can enjoy particular things that comes out from Star Wars. I can enjoy particular things that come out from Predator Badlands or the Predator franchise. So if I watch Predator Badlands and I don't like it, then it's like, okay, well, there's Predator stuff I'm not going to see. I didn't watch Killer of Killers. I think I watched the first like episode of Killer of Killers. And I was like, I didn't really care for it, so I didn't watch the rest.
No,
I'm fine.
That was enough to kill it right there. And I went ahead and watched the rest of it, which just killed it even further. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you with Sanda. I'm fine with like cutting stuff off and being like, nope, not for me. 10 years ago, I wasn't like that. Like with Star Wars explicitly, I wanted to like every movie, every show that they made of Star Wars. But after Obi-Wan came out and I watched it, I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. They have to. Disney has to convince me to watch something in Star Wars.
That's what they rode. Is they rode that goodwill of people that love the franchise.
Yeah.
And made slop, and made their little political messaging become part of everything. But yeah, they forced all of that stuff in and just acted like they didn't care and just kept on doing it. And I think when you get that first little pushback on it, they're like, really? You didn't like that? Well, watch this one. Yeah. And just went worse and worse with it. And I was just like I said, I went to see what was the first of the 3 trilogies called again?
With the first film of the 3rd trilogy?
Of the Star Wars stuff.
The Force Awakens?
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it in the theater because of the spectacle of it being on the big screen. And it was kind of cool to see Star Wars again.
I came out of the Force Awakens like, all right, well, yeah, it's a retread of the A New Hope, but let's see where you go with it. That was my whole thing. I was excited about it, but nah, big wet fart.
Went back in and watched it a second time. I think we got it on DVD for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And when you go back and watch it a second time, I was like, wow, I didn't notice that the first time. And I didn't notice that. And it was like all these fight scenes where there's people that are, you watch good choreography stuff and you see these guys that are waiting on people to like hit their marks so they can do their little thing. And it's like, gosh, man, I didn't realize how bad that was. And then you start mixing in all the other little messaging stuff that it was like, I didn't really see that the first time. And now I see that this time. And then
it's kind talked about dangling keys with the Mission Impossible franchise. It's like if there were dangling keys, but then you realize, wait a minute, those aren't keys, and you're inserting the key sound. This is not what I want. I don't want these dangling keys.
Making a key sound, and then like as soon as you come and look for the keys, somebody just like punches you in the nose. It's like that's what those films were. Was it the second one that was started with the Rose Tico thing?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there in the theater watching that. I was like, wow, please get better. And it just
honestly, Rose was. If I had a list of grievances with that film, I don't even know if Rose would have been on it. She would have been way low on it. There's so many things.
It started, and I was just like, "Come on, man!" I was like, "Please get better." And then by the time we got to like Leia going out and forcing herself back in, I was like,
and them on the casino planet with the commentary about the war profiteers. Okay, This is not a Last Jedi complaint podcast, but like with the Predator Badlands, I am looking forward to it. I have my grievances with the way the Predator looks. I think I think they're deliberately doing it because they didn't trust in their movie making capabilities to make me care, the audience care about something that looks like the Predator.
It's a little bit,
and they could have done it.
It's a little bit like what they've done with all these like King Kong, Godzilla combo things. It's like we want to make a movie about King Kong, but we're not sure if you're going to come see it unless we add Godzilla. So we're going to shoehorn in these little parts with Godzilla.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not sure. We have this cool sci-fi story about indigenous tribal people in space, but I don't know if you'll go see space Indians. So let's call it Predator.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd be more interested in seeing it if it was. I guess Space Indians has already been done in Avatar, and now you're getting part 3 of that coming out at Christmas. And I guess another Space Indians show would just be like white noise. So it's like, let's tie it to Predator, and maybe people will go see it. And it's like,
There were 2 studios I was hoping would be formed when Disney started buying all these studios up. I was hoping that we would get like a Marvel Max, because there was a label for Marvel Comics at one point, MAX.
Okay.
And it was like, these are, and like the Punisher was a part of it. It's like, these are the like adult Marvel comics, the ones that are a bit violent, a bit crude.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of hoping that they would do that with the MCU, do like an MCU Max. And this was before Deadpool came into the fold. And I was like, well, they could do that, and they could just have Deadpool as violent as they wanted. And the other one was, I was kind of hoping they would take on Dark Horse and make like the Alien and the Predator comics. Like that's probably my biggest complaint about the way Disney is moving forward, is they don't have any reverence or regard for the stuff that exists. Yeah. Like, both between Star Wars, Alien, and Predator, there are volumes of media between books and novels that they could draw from. And they're like, no, we got this. We'll do our own thing. Okay, all right. We'll see how it works out.
Doesn't Dark Horse include like all the old Conan stuff? Or is that not?
I don't know if Conan was Dark Horse.
I gotcha.
Could be.
Yeah, but no, there's Dark Horse Star Wars comics that were great.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. It's
all right. So the next film is Tron Ares. It's probably on your.
That's on my list. I'm looking forward to. Yep. Disappointed.
You and I crossed each other on Tron Ares, because like from the first trailer, I was like, this looks horrible. From
Aliens to Tron to everything, I'm like, bring aliens to Earth and have a gigantic just
battle,
2-hour battle.
Yeah,
like Battle Los Angeles, like that movie.
Yeah.
Do that with aliens. Yeah. And I was like, when they showed Tron, like the big robot thing coming in, and like the bikes running through and police chasing them and then cutting. I was like, just have a movie of this.
Dude, Battle LA with predators would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, hey, predators are besieging a city on Earth.
It's not hard to make a good movie, guys. Yeah. And this
Battle LA was great.
This was like, okay, there's this cool idea, and then then you see the second trailer. It's like Jared Leto, and it was all about micro. What do you call the little nanobots?
Yeah,
using nanobots to do this guy. I don't even know where the story went. I was just like, man, come on, man. I was so excited for that when I first saw the trailer, and then that's 2 trailers in. I was like,
once I accepted the whole it's Tron in the real world. Once I accepted that, I was more accepting of. I probably would have been accepting of anything. Again, I was just like, Tron is cool. I like to see Tron. I would like to see it on the big screen again. I just never made it.
Well, it was something that they were working kind of. Excuse me. We brought food to the show, and this stuff's really good, so it's really hard not to eat it. It was like a peppermint patty.
Mm. That's what it's like.
With little things of peppermint that, when they hit the back of your throat, it's kind of hard to talk for a second.
Don't breathe in peppermint.
They were setting up with the Tron Legacy. Was that the first remake?
Yeah.
And
this first sequel.
And that Tron cartoon they had on the Disney Channel for a while. This idea that there were these people in this computer land that wanted to get out. They
like evolved from just the code.
Yeah.
It was like a sentient
They
program.
became sentient, yeah. And on top of that, they didn't want to be contained in there anymore. They wanted to get out and try to invade the world. And I thought that would be the sequel to this. And
Tron Uprising was a cartoon. I'm pretty sure that's on my list of like, I want to watch this, but I'm pretty sure that ended either like on a cliffhanger or something like that. It ended before they wanted it to end.
I think they did. They didn't get renewed, so they didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And they might have tried to wrap it up in like that last gasp episode where you try to
wrap everything up real quick.
Yeah.
With all the money that Disney wastes on stuff, just make a movie to complete that. Yeah. Just make a movie.
Well, I just saw that the opening weekend for this Zootopia thing.
Yeah.
Was like, I think it surpasses all of this. I think it was like 500
million. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, good for them. But at least, I mean, it's a sequel, but at least it's an original sequel.
My thought on that was like, now they've got all this money again.
Is Zootopia Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That covers all of these losses they've done on everything. So that just it makes it to where they're not gonna change course because they ended the year on this big banger of a profit thing, and it was just a cartoon, so its cost couldn't be anywhere near some of these bombs that they make.
I mean, that means they have 2 of the top 3 grossing films for the year. So
yeah, no reason for them to change what they're doing. No. They're making money. They don't care if you enjoy it or not.
Let's see. Another film I really wanted to see was One Battle After Another. That was a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Oh, the thing about communism? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't have that on my list. Yep. Like, I don't need an Antifa propaganda film.
I like Paul Thomas Anderson. I like Leonardo DiCaprio.
I like the actors in it, yeah. So, yeah. Zero interest in the movie.
I mean, kind of like with Tom Cruise. If DiCaprio's in something, I'm like, sure, let's watch it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see The Naked Gun. I really wanted to see it in the theater to like support a comedy. Yeah. Everyone who went and saw it seemed like it was universally loved. I will see it at some point.
I'll catch it. It wasn't on it wasn't anywhere near the top of my list of things I'd really like to see. I was just like, I'll see it whenever I see it.
I did rewatch the old Naked Guns.
I've rewatched those
I rewatched it.
We used to watch those all the time, especially the original Police Squad movies and stuff. And once you kind of get those, you come back and see how many of those gimmicks get reused in the Naked Gun movies. But they're funny jokes. That's worth it.
And that's pretty much it for me.
The other ones I had on my list of ones that I was looking forward to, Jurassic Park Rebirth was up there at the top. Mm-hmm. I was just looking forward to that because Gareth Edwards was involved. Okay. I was thinking, he made 2014 Godzilla, he made Rogue One. I was like, his involvement might save this, and it was like, no. It's like he's in contract with Disney, and we just don't get nice things anymore. I think you saw those original trailers with like the little whale dinosaur that's like cresting by the boat and some stuff that looked cool. And then you saw like the big forehead dinosaur is like, oh, they made up dinosaurs for this. Yeah. That's fun. It's like on top of that, they didn't even make one that looks interesting. It looks like some kind of like, let's see what it looks like a short bus dinosaur. But so I did not see that. I think my daughter might have made it to that. I don't remember. Seemed like I talked to somebody that saw it, and they were just like, how was it? And it was like an eye roll, like, don't tell me. It was like, don't ask me about it. So I already covered The Predator, The Badlands, Tron. I think it was early in the year Wolfman came out, and I love werewolf stories, and it was supposed to be tied back into the Universal monsters, and then maybe it was going to be the kickoff of some kind of reboot of the Universal monsters stuff. And I don't know if did you see that movie?
Wolfman?
Yeah.
No.
The one with Julia Gardner.
When did it come out?
It came out early this year.
Like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did not see it. Yeah, The Woman and the Weapons.
The werewolf movie with Frank Grillo was 4 times as good as that movie. The Wolfman movie was awful.
So you saw this?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't see it in the theater. Saw it on streaming.
I didn't think it looked very good, but
I was like,
you were hopeful.
I'm hopeful on anything that comes out with like a werewolf story. And even like when you got to the werewolf story, it was just like this wrinkled up dude with like kind of stringy hair. It wasn't even a good werewolf, and story made no sense. It was awful all the way around. And I don't know what happened with the production of that movie. It seemed like they started out with some kind of grand ideas, and then it just sort of fell apart. And I don't know what the backstory is there.
I just don't like wolf men that don't look like wolves.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in them. The hairy man with maybe like paint on his nose.
I'm not hard to please on werewolf movies. The whole idea of werewolves is that there's a supermoon that somehow or another turned people into werewolves, and the werewolves were good-looking attempts at it. They were the big bipedal, kind of humanoid-looking, oversized guys. It basically was, what's the movie where you have to live, where they can kill everybody for Purge?
The Purge.
It basically was just the Purge with werewolves. It was 18 times more enjoyable than the Wolfman. I think I said I don't go into those with any kind of expectation. I think the other ones on my list were The Running Man. I think we beat that to death in our last show. No need to revisit that. I think it. I don't know where it ended up on the list.
Oh, like money wise?
On the money list.
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't think it was.
Wasn't very high.
I don't think it was super high, but I think they lost a lot of money on that from production to the actual
52nd.
Yeah.
34 million, 34.5 million.
Yeah, I think I remember it being budgeted way beyond that.
To put it in perspective, 11 higher on the list is Mickey 17, which was okay.
I would have had that on my list of things to see until I saw like a trailer and saw Mark Ruffalo, and I'm like, nope.
He was insufferable in it.
He's an instant do not watch for me. I don't care.
Trying to be insufferable.
Yeah, I think that's his existence. But I also had on my list Novocaine.
Yep,
I kind of thought that would be cool. Watched it. Thankfully, didn't pay $15 to see that. I think I just caught it on. I think I caught it in a hotel while we're at a show.
See, I would put Novocaine, and I would say the same thing about Novocaine that you said about Wolfman. Like they had an idea, and it was a cool idea, but the follow through wasn't the best.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it, but
I was so disinterested. It was almost kind of like watching The Running Man. It just it got to a couple things I tried to sort of give it a benefit of the doubt on, and then by the time I was halfway into that movie, I was like, man, I don't care. I don't care how this ends. I just kept getting taken. I did get taken out of that film by just wondering, well, how much like abuse can a body take before it just shuts down? Yeah,
that's what I kept thinking. I'm like, no, there's no way he could be walking around with an arrow in his leg like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. The pain doesn't matter. The body will stop.
Needed to be some other factor in that movie for that to even make sense, and there was no other factor. And
it was. I don't know if I made a connection while we were talking about Novocaine a few episodes ago or a few months ago, but it seemed like it wanted to be like Crank.
Yeah,
it just didn't get there.
It would have been one of those things to where if he just had that ability and he got to a final, like a fight with the people that took his girlfriend or whatever, and that just came into play in the final fight instead of, it was all through the movie. He was just getting these debilitating injuries and then going on to the next fight with the Mordant. It was like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. Then my last, which was pretty high on the list, was Sinners. And Sinners was a great period piece about opening a blues bar and wherever we were in the South, I forget where, Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi, whatever state they wanted to direct their hate towards.
Tennessee?
I don't know. Was it Tennessee?
I don't know.
I know they went to Chicago and then they came back south. I think it was further south than Tennessee. Like they wanted it to be deep south so they can make sure we understood that all people in the South are evil and need to be gunned down.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Clarksdale, Mississippi.
And then it shifted into vampires for some reason and became plot device movie making with just contrivance after contrivance, and culminated with, we're going to gun down white people because white people bad. And I thought it was disgusting and never want to see it again, and I will not see it again.
there are a lot of movies this year that can be the difference between you and me is it was horrible, it was disgusting, I hated it. It was all right. that is definitely
I went into that because of what's his name, Creed.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. He's a good actor, and he had earned my following from the Creed movies and a few other things that he's done. What's the old Superman Chronicle?
Chronicle. That was good.
That's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Kind of built my trust up as a good actor with him as a younger guy. Like I said, I put a lot of weight on some of the older guys that I never tried and tested and true and all that. And he burned just about all of it in one film. And we won't rehash that whole movie. That whole movie is, if you did that and swapped any roles in it, people would have burned theaters down. And I refuse to accept that it's okay, because it's not. It's there's absolutely no reason for that movie to turn the way that it did, other than it was a fantasy about killing people from a different race that you don't like, and it made a ton of money. So good for
Yeah,
them.
well,
I'm glad they made money.
I wonder if there's going to be a sequel.
Who cares?
I'm going to look it up. I think if no sequel is currently planned, that's probably because Ryan Coogler is more of kind of like thinks himself like an auteur, does one film and then moves on to the next.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Sinners. I thought it was
I enjoyed 2/3 of Sinners.
I thought it was a good.
It pulled me into
a decent entry into like the Bordello of Blood or From Dusk Till Dawn franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hand wave the motivations of a lot of filmmaking these days. I feel like you have to if you're going to enjoy anything.
Yeah. I'm fine just living in the world before people lost their minds.
I say I've said that about like video games, especially when they're the kind of things are going to be adding with monetization and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, I've got 30 years of video games that I've missed. I can go back. Yeah. I don't mind.
Yeah, there's all the movies that were I was born in the mid 70s. There's a whole catalog of things that were before I was born that I've never seen. I could watch old movies until my time expires and probably still not get through all of them. So
one thing I have, just I guess because of the generation I'm in, that I've avoided for the most part is like black and white films. Like there are certain classics that I've watched and I've almost always enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a classic movie that is thought of as a classic movie that I've watched and been like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I always finish it and I'm like, well, that was really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are all sorts of, like Humphrey Bogart films and stuff. Like I could just go through these catalogs of
going back through just watching some of the things that some of them I've seen, but it's been so long. Mm-hmm. Go back through and watch the Godfather series.
I've never seen those. I own them. I've never seen them. I need to watch them.
I've watched them all, but you have to set aside time. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of old Westerns. There's the the Good, the Bad, the Ugly trilogy.
We've just said before, like, I'm like, I don't like Westerns, but every Western I've watched, I've enjoyed. So I probably do enjoy Westerns. It's just when I was exposed to them, I was a child, and then I wasn't really following the plots.
I could go through my cabinet over there and probably give you a year's worth of homework of movies to watch and stuff. But
yeah, so if it gets to a point to where I find modern movies and TV shows to just be far too insufferable, there's plenty for me to watch. I will not be at a loss for entertainment at all.
But that is the end of my list of what I was looking forward to that I found disappointing.
Yeah.
Which brings me back around to my top categories.
Yeah. Well, these are going to be the top, the ones we want to talk about for the year, right? Okay. I'll start off.
Okay.
I don't have a lot to say about Severance, but Severance season 2 came out, and I love the Severance series. I think it's a unique concept. I think it's creative, and I think it's done very professionally.
Is that a British thing?
No, it's Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Yeah, who'd have thought, right?
Yeah.
Just the pretty much everything about the series, it just draws me in. I love the fact that these people who get separated from themselves, they've instilled like their own little controlled society to the point where they have this whole religion about this guy named Keir, that they idolize Keir and they follow Keir. And at one point in the second season, they go into this room and Gwendolyn Christie's in there, and she's like a shepherd, and there's like grassy hills and there's like sheep in there. It's so weird. It's very surreal.
Yeah.
It's a surreal series, and not only is it a feast for the eyes, it's an interesting story. And it's one of those shows where like you get to the end and you're like, oh, what's next?
Like a David Lynch that actually makes sense.
Yes. I think
I watch a lot of David Lynch things thinking, wow, this is intriguing. And after you watch a bit, it's like, this means nothing. It's not going anywhere. I'm just seeing cool art pictures on film. But
that's why he was good for Dune.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Well, I've got this. I kind of did this. No, go ahead and come to the accountant.
Yep.
I did a top 3 in 3 different categories. I
Okay.
did my top films that I saw in the theater, top anime because they became really some of the best things I saw in the theater this year, which is something I would have never thought was a thing. And then I did my top of the re-releases that hit theaters. So I didn't send you slides on the other, but my top 3 for the films were Superman. I enjoyed
Oh,
Superman.
see, Superman after the fact, I enjoyed it at the time. As it sat with me, I've gotten lukewarm on it. I'm like, I don't know.
I enjoyed it because I just don't care about superhero stuff
Right?
anymore.
You took it for what it
I went
was.
to the movie and it was a good story. I don't care what it lined up with, what it's going to cause, what it did to whatever's universe. I don't care.
Right?
The people that live and dwell in that stuff, I'm just like, good for y'all, man. Whoever it offended in the comic world or in Superman lore or whatever, uh, it was a good, it was a watchable movie. Something I could probably sit through another time. And again, these are the ones that I saw in the theater. So I was ranking the ones that I did see.
Mm-hmm.
So saying it's in my top 3 is an indictment of the year. It's just one of the 3 best that I saw for the year. The second place one was my 28 Years Later. Again, lots of people have their varying opinions about that. Danny Boyle is a great filmmaker. There's a lot of good in it. And there's a lot of, I think the bad in it is probably going to come, the bad parts of it are going to probably come to a head in the sequel that's coming. I think there's so many random things that they didn't have thought out that are just going to get thrown into this Bone Temple movie. And I hope I'm wrong there. I will go see the Bone Temple. I hope I go there expecting it to be some weird contrivance and I get surprised by it. I don't think that's going to happen, but there's supposed to be a third movie in that series that probably may or may not get released depending on how that second movie does. So I'm guessing I'm not going to get to see a third movie.
You're not expecting to do it very well.
I
Not
don't. I don't
expect
think
it to.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
But those are my number 3 and then my number 2. My number 1 for a theater experience this year was The Accountant 2, and we did go see this as a group. Kid, I think both of my kids came and their significant others and my wife. We all went as a big group to go see this. Had a great time. Super entertaining film. Um, Probably it was as good as the first movie, if not better. The first movie was a little bit more kind of character building, the Ben Affleck character. The second one was kind of more running with that, I guess, and the whole thing of him being this autistic guy that could figure out all these like crazy patterns and stuff, and on top of that, be this like super deadly assassin. And bringing in John Barenthal into it just made it one of those, not even like those old partner buddy cop movies,
He
but
was in the first one, wasn't
at the very end,
he? Yeah.
like it was a reveal
Yeah.
that the fight at the end is like he came. And I think they just
Those-
about killed each other at the end of that.
Right.
And
That was one of those, like the reveal was like, hey, it's John Barenthal. So, yeah, I know that guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But him playing his brother and kind of being this reckless over the top character with Ben being like this, I have to have everything arranged and all this order. It was a great play off of each other. It's a good story. Kind of shined a light a little bit on, hopefully for some people, what all of the issues at the border with trafficking and illegal immigration actually entails and why it should be important and not some little thing that you just decide to wave a flag on because your neighbor is doing it on Facebook and you need to fit in. So on top of it, kind of addressing a pretty important issue, it was a really good movie. And that was my top film. It did, I don't know how it did on the year. It was
30th, 65 million, 65.5 million.
Yeah. So
They do great.
Probably about what they were hoping on a sequel like that, where it's it's a male-centered movie.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a lot of girls on date night going out unless they just were hoping to see John Barenthal with his shirt off or something.
It had a reported budget of 80 million.
Yeah.
Well, my wife likes The Accountant because she's like in finance and stuff. So I mean, she likes she likes Affleck. So
it's her superhero movie.
Yeah.
What if accountants were superheroes?
Yeah. Well, like that. I try not to read too much into it, but like Ben Affleck, and the guy who played Angel, He'll talk about in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I didn't watch
What's
Buffy
his
the
name?
Vampire Slayer.
He was in Bones.
Two that I did not see. I can't help you.
David Boreanaz. When I show you a picture of him, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that guy. This guy. Him? Recognize him?
Roughly. Okay. Not great.
Big fan of him too. So
okay.
Try not to compare myself too much. But yeah, it didn't exactly make its money back, unfortunately. So that probably means no sequel. Did it set it up for a sequel?
It was a Prime Video release.
Oh, those. Yeah, so you never know how those fare. That's all background.
It got that whatever it was, 50, 60 million out of the theater, and then came back to Prime. So
maybe it will.
I think it probably did more than it needed to do.
Okay, excellent.
It'd be a fun, good enough like premise that you could keep kind of going, even if you didn't want to go back to the theater with it. You've got Reacher and these the Jack Carr series that are on Prime now. The
didn't you
Terminal List stuff?
The Terminal List, yeah.
That you could probably work this into a series if Ben Affleck was agreeable to do a TV series with Barenthal. I'm sure Barenthal would. I think he's pretty much down for anything. He's been the Punisher. He's been in Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mind being a bad guy. Plays a good bad guy. He plays a great good guy in this one. So I'd take anything else that series has to offer. If it follows up with anything, I'm there.
I'll take your lead on this one. It's easy to give 3 of my top movie going experiences for the year. Mm-hmm. I will start at the bottom, which I would say Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. It was a fun movie experience. I'm kind of at the point to where if I know I use the word bombastic. If the film is going to be bombastic, I want to sit in the theater. I got a nice little setup at home, but it's not like years ago. I actually had a projector and a screen and surround sound, but now I just have like a big TV with a sound bar. So it's fine, but it's not theater quality, you know?
If Roanoke had better theaters,
right,
they would be much more enjoyable.
Yeah. But even with the theater that we have, you do have like it's probably like the 10.1 surround sound or whatever. So I mean, you still get some benefit
at a volume where it's vibrating your seat at some point.
And we drove to Regal RPX to see F1. That was a fantastic film with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and I definitely want to see that. I'm really disappointed I didn't get to see it in the theater because I'm sure that.
Oh, it's great. Great.
I'm sure you lose a little bit when it comes to TV on that.
I think that's probably says something about F1 because I'm not a racing guy. I'm not big in cars and stuff like that. F1 I could care less about. Yeah. Or I couldn't care less about rather.
Yeah.
So the fact that I really enjoyed that film, it's a great film.
Oh, I mean, we saw the Maverick movie when it came out in the theater because we wanted to see that in the theater and enjoy that whole visual thing. And it's the same guy that made it. And I'm assuming it's a lot of the same kind of camera work and stuff like that, where he gives you these raw sort of ground level, like showing the equipment working and all that kind of stuff. That's cool stuff to see. I'm sad that I did not get to see it in the theater.
And that movie is a great example of like films that need to be re-released. Like it'd be great in like 2 years. Just be like, hey, we're releasing F1 again for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the other film is one of the earlier films I saw in the theater for this year. It was Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I was enthralled with this film.
We missed the release of it, but we watched it here at home.
I kind of had the opposite effect like with Superman, where I saw Superman and I was like, hey, it's pretty good. And then after a few weeks, I was thinking about it. It was okay. I enjoyed it at the time. Yeah. I see cracks, Nosferatu.
I watch a lot of reviewers like the Drinker and some of those things, and they hated on Superman pretty hard. I'm like, that's fine. Y'all can not like it. I don't let people that kind of make that business out of.
Yeah, I was going to say, so there are reviewers on YouTube who their shtick is they don't like things.
Yeah.
So.
And I maybe defended Superman a little bit, my own mind a little bit, and was like, you're not going to convince me that this is bad because I enjoyed it. So talk all you want. But
But Nosferatu kind of went the opposite direction for me. I mean, I enjoyed it in the theater, but after a little while thinking about it,
I would really like to rewatch it.
I want to rewatch it
because I watched it and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but that is Edgar's, right? Eckers. How do you say his name?
What do you mean? The actor,
the guy that did The Witch and
yeah, pretty sure. And Robert Edgars,
and he did The Northman too, right?
Yep,
and The Lighthouse. I feel like there's something I've maybe missed in watching that the first time because it didn't really stick with me the way the other ones did. The Witch is, you watch The Witch once and you're like, well, that's in your head for a couple days. The Northman's one of my favorite movies all time. The Lighthouse was really good. It's kind of a different kind of good. And I watched that one and it was like, I guess there's that little bit of dissonance you have in your head that you know that Nosferatu is Dracula. Basically a theft of the idea of Dracula.
Right.
And it really is scene for scene, idea
it's
for
a
idea.
Rip-off. It really is.
And trying to kind of work through that, I guess I don't know if that is why it didn't stick out as my favorite or anything, but it was a well-made film.
I just view it as I see it as, I mean, I've like what's his name? Not Count Dracula. Olaf, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, Count Olaf. I'm not finding it, but I'm just, anyway, his name is like Count Olaf, and I'm like, okay, whatever. It's Count Dracula.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just considering it a Dracula film. But between this and Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro, I don't want an MCU version of Universal Monsters like they tried to make with Tom Cruise. Speaking of Tom Cruise films that I've watched, that was horrible. That was a horrible film. Anyway,
I've still not seen it.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But anyway, I don't want them to try to like build to an Avengers event for the Universal Monsters.
Yeah. But
I really want a unified vision that goes through all of the monsters. Yeah. And that would be good enough for me. Like if the person who did Nosferatu, of course, Eggers, I mean, if he was given the reins, that'd be great. If Del Toro was given the reins, that'd be great. I just want someone.
I could write one literally in like 20 minutes.
I just want someone to take the reins. And
if you give me Wolfman, you give me Dracula, give me Frankenstein, you have Van Helsing that runs through all of those things. You could do like that awful Hugh Jackman thing that kind of tried to touch on all of them, but you could do it.
I liked that movie. That was fun.
It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to watch.
Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale, dudes running around in a leather trench coat. Come on.
The werewolf in that is what got me. It was a bad CGI.
It was
werewolf.
bad CG. Yeah,
and
it was.
But that's where you could take that as a universe if you wanted to do it and do it a little less goofy as that movie was. You could actually have it be a serious series. And
well, I don't even need them to ever touch. Like if you gave like Guillermo del Toro did as Frankenstein. Okay, you've done Frankenstein. Now do Dracula. You don't include any stylistically. That's all I need.
Give me Dracula controlling the Wolfman and Van Helsing controlling Frankenstein and a big showdown. It'd be some good stuff.
Okay.
I could write that.
All right, you're going to move on to anime that you saw in the theater?
Yes. And I've again had a top 3 in this, which I would have never even thought that I would even see that many anime releases in a theater in a year, because I've never seen one in a theater before this year.
I only saw 2, so I can't give you any.
My third was Dan. Mm-hmm. We saw that early under a crackling speaker, we're pretty sure. Yeah, that was 111th on that list. So basically just 3 episodes of a anime series was still almost in the top 100 box office, which again, probably not so much a bonus as that is just an indictment on film at the moment. The second one was, we just saw together, Chainsaw Man. That was 39th in the box office. And that made a pile of money.
Yeah, Dan made about $5.5 million.
Yeah,
which is one of those things where like they've made it. This is like extra cash for them.
I actually did write them down. Chainsaw Man was 43.1.
Oh, okay,
that's ridiculous for basically what's going to be
ridiculous.
The opening series episodes of an anime. So
that's like free money, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
And it's going to be an anime that people are going to pay for, and you're going to have hard copies of it that you sell because people in anime haven't lost their minds and don't try to keep it all chained up on streaming services.
I don't know if we made this comment on camera, but a lot of the bigger anime, they're going to start writing their stories with the idea that they're going to chop off the first 3 episodes or 4 episodes to put in the theater.
And as long as they stay in this lane and stay out of the Sanda lane, I'm good with that. The Sanda thing would not have success like that. That kind of stuff here would get shot down pretty quick, I think. And
I kind of feel like the first 2 episodes of Sanda was like, okay, you're doing something. Then they kind of went off the rails.
Yeah. But then my number one was the Demon Slayer movie, and that was amazing.
That's the one I didn't see because I haven't seen any Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it really was like that was made, and you know it's going to be part of. It's just the opening part of that last arc of the Infinity Castle. But you could watch that by itself and enjoy it. You would still have a lot of questions about who this character was and who that character was. It made 134 million.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
And again, that's like you said, it's free money.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the rest of the series come out. It's going to be shopped between streaming services. Oh, no. It'll be on Prime and Hulu and probably on Crunchyroll. And then people are going to be buying hard copies of the Blu-rays to finish their collections of the season.
I guarantee you, there are people in Hollywood, executives saying, hey, can we release the first 2 episodes of Severance season 3 in the theater? Yeah. Guarantee they're having those conversations.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
and the answer is no. This is something explicitly that the anime crowd will do. The people who watch things like Severance will be like, wait for it.
Yeah. I mean, these are ones, everything here is something you could have waited for. But especially when you get into Chainsaw Man and Dan both with Silent Saru, although I don't think Dan was as visually striking as Chainsaw Man was. And Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer were both just ridiculous on the big screen. And it's because that level of animation that they do is super intense and crazy to begin with. When you're watching it on TV, it's sometimes kind of mind-blowing. When you see it in a theater, expanded and louder and brighter, it's like, my goodness, that's ridiculous. So that was my second category of anime. And really probably throw The Accountant right there with Dan if I was ranking all of these together.
Mm-hmm.
I would still have Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man probably in front of The Accountant. Then The Accountant might fall in front of Dan, then Dan right behind it. So for my theater experiences for the year, 28 years later in Superman, we're behind all of that.
Oh. So, all right, for me, this is just looking back at the years that I'm not in the theater.
Yeah.
But I'm very fond of Evangelion, and I've always considered myself a fan of it. I thought I had seen all of it. I don't think I had, but I really enjoyed my time with it. And I think what I would probably like to do next few months, maybe over the next year even, is come over here and we can watch the redos.
Yes.
I would, because I really want to watch them.
And I kind of want to watch the series too, because
how about you watch the series, and once you're done with that, we'll schedule the redos.
Yeah.
Because we'll kind of like we did with the Empty Man. That'll be something I'll have to come over here. Maybe you can come over to my place, but
I'm good either way.
Just get together just to watch them, because that's I'm eager to look into it, and I kind of feel like I had a little resurgence of my love of anime through Evangelion, especially going back to older anime, and that's kind of the reason I wanted to watch Hellsing again.
Yeah,
was because I watched this. I was like, man, that was great. And I did go through Berserk again, as good as I remember it. I need to watch the subsequent 2 series that they made. I'm afraid to, but I need to do it anyway at some point. But yeah, it's got me back.
That's kind of where I'm lacking in my anime stuff right now, is like all these things are sort of demons, supernatural stuff, swordplay. I just watched Vinland Saga. I got Vikings, watched Kaiju number 8, got all that.
You need big robots.
I need robots.
Yeah.
I have on my list on Crunchyroll to go back and watch Aldino Zero, which is an awesome mech one. And then Knights of Sidonia, which is probably still my favorite, even though it's probably the worst animated of them because it's CGI. But I love that story. It is so cool. And that's my attraction to Evangelion stuff is I want to get back in and I want to see giant purple robot fighting angels,
Absolutely.
space, whatever they are. But
Well, we did watch also Shin Godzilla.
yes, I didn't rank any other of the re-releases, but I think you kind of pointed them out that there were lots of others like the Star Wars and Ghibli movies. Like I said, we made some of those made $6-7 million just
Yep.
on re-releases, which you talk about just free money. Got them all on the shelves there. I could do the same thing if I had a building. I could put one of those in a projector and show it. If I could get $6 million out of that, I'm like, yes.
All right.
But they re-released Shin Godzilla as a 2016 movie, and it turned out to be 123rd on the list. It made another $4 million, which again,
that's great.
Just free money for them at this point because it broke like all kinds of box office records in Japan when it came out the first time. When they re-released this, it was like a 4K version they released this time. It was number one in the box office in Japan again, and I think I've infected your YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
You've been seeing all the releases for Shin Godzilla, like a special collector set that they're doing, and how the only reason I haven't bought that yet is because Christmas time is coming, and I don't want to like buy something that somebody else is going to get for me. If I don't get that at Christmas, I'm buying that right after Christmas. I hope it's still available.
Hopefully.
But,
I've done the thing where I'll buy it. I'm like, I'll just return it if someone gets it for me.
I could not open. They've got it. I haven't seen it yet.
You return the one they give you.
Well, that's true. I could do that. They've got what do they call it? Some kind of chromatic thing, but they basically have it refinished like it's a black and white film. I want to see that so bad. That I love black and white Godzilla. I loved how -1 translated into black and white. It was almost like that film was made for black and white. And this one would have a little bit more issues because some of the color and stuff in it is kind of important in the story, but I still want to see it.
If it comes back to the theater, which I assume it will at some point, I want to see it in the theater because this past year I saw it on the small screen. And I mean, Godzilla films, you want to see them on the big screen.
Well, what Toho has gotten good at doing is, the anniversaries for Godzilla or in November each year. And I forget what we're on now. There was a 70th. This might have been the 70th or the 71st or something. But they're always re-releasing stuff on those anniversary dates if they don't have a new movie. And actually, maybe next year might be the -0 because that was -1.
Yeah.
There's a sequel coming to that. I don't know if they'll have that ready, if they'll do that for their November release, and if not, they'll re-release something else. And anytime they do a black and white theater release of that, I'm back there that day. If I'm in the middle of a show, I'll go see it at whatever city we're in. If it's just, a lot of times those releases are one night only, one weekend only kind of things. But yeah, if you haven't seen Shin Godzilla, it's top 3 Godzilla movies all time for me. I'm not going to sit here and mentally torture myself to try to rank my favorite 3 over the top of each other. I don't like to pick a favorite child. I love my children. Those 3 movies are kind of in that same category.
I definitely feel like it's one of the more unique Godzillas.
Yeah, it's just supposedly there's a sequel working for that. I don't trust anything until I actually see it. Tons of potential of things you could do sequel wise with that storyline. I think we talked about it when we talked about it in one of our earlier shows, how the whole idea is that Godzilla is just going to become like a planet and just keep evolving and just destroy like the universe. And I'm like, well, that'd
become a universe in and of himself.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll want to take it that far. Hopefully that guy's in a little bit better place mentally than he was when he started the story. I think he had like his wife died or something. If I remember the narrative on that, and he wanted Godzilla to be his little vehicle for the world needs to burn because I'm sad. I'm like, wow, okay.
One thing I've come to respect about the Godzilla franchise through you is how there's a lack of continuity that's almost celebrated.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like Shin Godzilla isn't associated with the other Godzillas is completely fine with the fandom, and I think that's great.
We want to see new monsters blowing up things in different ways. And if it's just as simple as changing the color of his fire, we're like, yes, it's green this time. It's like, did you see the green fire? Yeah, that was awesome.
And Shin Godzilla kind of reminded me of what happened in the not the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday the 13th series, with where like in the older Jason Goes to Hell, like in the newer, like as it went on, the Jason Goes to Hell series, they introduced like these demons that were infesting. They're like worms that were infesting Jason, and it was like completely off the rails.
Yeah.
And like fans of the series are like, this isn't what Jason is about. This is not Friday the 13th. Shin Godzilla, they come out and be like, hey, Godzilla's a big guppy, and then he turns into a big Godzilla, and then there's like tails, people coming off of his tail, and like the fandom is like, yes, that's awesome.
He's gonna have little humanoid babies that he can control as like legion, and you're like, cool.
Right. And I think for the most part, I think that's a healthy way to be a fan of something. It's like, just give me more. I like it.
Well, it's like just giving us more. It's like, it's good every time.
That is the caveat there. It has to be good. It can't just be more. It has to be more and good.
Yeah. I mean, that was what kind of fizzled in the 60s into the early 70s, as it kind of got goofy and they didn't know what else to do with it other than just kind of make it campy. And people are like, I don't really want any more of that, thanks.
Yeah.
And it took a pause for over a decade and came back in the 80s serious again. And people were like, oh, this is awesome. So,
well, speaking about fandoms that need to just accept things, one of the things I want to talk about is Dune Awakening. And this is explicitly just because this is what I spent the most time on this year. Between movies and other games and anime, I played a ton of Dune Awakening.
I've had a couple things on a list that I might try to get that out this weekend. I have not played a video game this year.
That's understandable.
I think about them a lot, but I've watched some YouTube videos of people playing video games.
People have actually asked, like with audiobooks, they're like, if me listening to someone read a book is equivalent to reading the book myself, why isn't me watching someone play a video game equivalent to me playing? I'm like, no, you play video games. And I do. I'm accepting of the argument that you read a book.
I'm worried about listening my stamina at this point. I can remember being like younger and like hands cramping up, and I haven't done that for over a year at least.
Yeah,
and I'm getting old.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I could be like 10 minutes into a game and be like, oh, hand cramp.
That is a problem. But when Denis Villeneuve came out with his Dune years ago, now at this point, I made a conscious effort just to be like, I'm just going to enjoy that I get more Dune.
Yeah.
Because it was at a point, and again, like with Star Wars, I mean, I got to the point where I was nitpicking it to the point to where I wasn't enjoying it because I was just so focused on the things that I didn't like. And I knew that because how much I like Dune, the novel series, I knew that there's no way that the movies or this game could match up to it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
Now, if there's stuff in the game or in the movies that is inconsistent with their internal logic, I'll be critical of that. But I'm not going to be like, this game's narrative, which takes place in an alternate, it's not even an alternate reality, in an alternate possibility that from the novels, and like Paul doesn't even exist in this. His Jessica gave birth to a daughter instead of a son. So some of the inconsistent things with the lore, I'm not gonna sweat because I get more Dune. I get to play on Arrakis. I'm flying in an ornithopter and I'm avoiding worms. That's all I want to do.
I love the Lynch movie.
Yeah,
because of the visuals in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. And then I love the new movies because you have giant worms. They had awesome like spaceship or ships between all the different groups of people. All the fight scenes were good. I could really care less about what the story was.
Right.
It was just, and it was a good story too, but it gave me the visual stuff enough that there could have been 10 minutes of story there and I'd have been like, that was pretty awesome. But
the reason Dune, a lot of people put Dune on like a pedestal of being like this high, like kind of like high sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's Frank Herbert's writing style is dense.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dune as a property that, I mean, it's just a Messiah thing. It's like, hey, this guy, there's space witches, and they seeded a prophecy throughout the galaxy.
I picked up The Hobbit when I was
Yeah,
still a police officer and threw it into the car. I'm like, I get these times where you don't have a call, it's raining, you can't go patrol very do much, or if it's quiet, I'll just throw that in and read. I think I maybe in the course of like a month read 50 pages of it. It was so hard to read. And
yeah.
I was just like, man.
I've listened to that again, different audiobook and reading. I've listened to the audiobook of The Hobbit, and I've heard that people say that Tolkien is like in the Lord of the Rings, will spend like 2 pages describing a tree, that sort of thing. Like he's just a dense author.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I've never tried to read anything Tolkien. Maybe I will someday, but
I've got a bachelor's degree in history. I read history books that were written by history professors to teach their own class. I've read some gosh awful stuff. And even I just sometimes reading like stuff like The Hobbit was like, it's like, am I dumb? Is this what? How am I not getting into this?
Right.
And it was just like the way you said it. You say dense.
Dense, yeah.
Yeah, that's just it. It was just really hard to kind of get into. And maybe it's one of those things once you break through. It's like The Stand.
Yeah.
When you break through the first 100 pages of The Stand, it really opens into this awesome story. The first 70 to 100 pages is just people blowing snot out of every orifice they have and dying. And I'm like, how much? I was like, I got it. They're sick.
Sometimes you kind of have to like learn how to read an author's work.
Yeah.
Frank Herbert's definitely one of those. But yeah, I expect I'll enjoy more Dune Awakening in the next year.
Yeah, I can't imagine even trying to get into any of the video game stuff of it. But it is just a really cool universe for a property.
Yeah,
and should be something that gets explored into shows.
I did watch. I didn't even put that on any of the lists. I did watch the. What is it called? Dune show. Dune Prophecy. I wanted to say Sisterhood of Dune. That's not it. That's the novel that's very loosely based off of.
Yeah.
And that's a great example of I could tear it apart.
Yeah.
But I was happy with what we got, and
what stuff goes
it was
into
internally
these,
consistent.
Was that HBO? Who did that?
HBO.
Yeah, when HBO does stuff, it goes off into that world I'll never
I'm
get
not
to
gonna
see.
watch. Yeah.
I'm not paying for HBO. Every time I've been in a hotel with HBO, a commercial comes on advertising the next thing, and I'm like, nah. It's like the world of Sanda, but 8 times worse. And I'm just like, nope, I'm not getting my money. But I'd love to see some more Dune movies. Anything with Dune, make a whole different unconnected story in the world. That'd be cool. I could do that.
Well, we are getting a third one. They've wrapped filming for the third Dune, which is gonna be kind of like an amalgam of the second and third book.
Okay.
It's pretty much he's made a Paul trilogy.
Yeah.
So, and he's said Denis Villeneuve has said this is it. He's making the third film. That's it.
Yeah.
And if someone else is going to make stuff after that, that's on them.
Then you can go back when it's all said and done. You can pick whether you want your Neo, Luke Skywalker, or Paul. And
the Paul's in the novels, Paul's son is probably one of my favorite characters in any series.
Yeah.
He does Paul without giving too much away. He does something that Paul knew he could do but was afraid to.
Okay.
And he essentially everybody who knows Dune knows this. He becomes a giant sandworm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's weird, and I want to see that on film because like all the depictions I've ever seen of it is just looks weird, and I was like, I want to see someone who's capable actually put that to film because it's never been done.
Can he return from sandworm to person?
Nope.
Okay.
He changed himself forever.
So he's a Shin Godzilla.
Yeah. We can't move very well.
Starts as a guppy.
Yeah.
Turns into a worm.
Turns into a worm. Anything else you want to talk about?
That's my year.
All right. Well, the last thing I just want to touch on Dan just because that started us doing this.
And honestly, that's probably the best series. I didn't really throw series into this. I was just thinking of the theater release type stuff. And of course that pulled in anime series because that became the best things that I saw in theaters this year.
I think Dan is one of the best anime that I've seen in years. One of the
Yes.
best new anime that I've seen.
And it is one that I do try to promote to other people when I talk about anime, with the caveats of do not watch it with your kids and get through the first episode of each season because they're uncomfortable, and then just enjoy the rest of it. And I think everybody that I've said that to has pretty much been like, I've touched base with them again. There's a lot of people we see at multiple shows have been like, that first episode was weird.
Right.
But then we start talking about the other stuff and kind of don't harp on that and get to laughing about all the stuff that happens in the show. And it seems to be that it's not just my sense of humor. I think it really does appeal to a lot of people's sense of humors. That
I think I said it probably on our very first episode when we were talking about Dan to Dan. This is an anime. This is like, this gives you the anime tropes, and it gives you all the good things about anime, some of the bad things about anime, or quote, air quote, bad things about anime, things that people are critical of.
Crazy creative. Yeah. Just the mixing of all these like myths and lores and stuff into anime, into this Japanese world. And I will point out one thing, because it's in this episodes that we've been talking about. Did you notice that old lady that came into the end of Sanda was the voice of Turbo Granny?
Oh, sure. I didn't realize that, but yeah. Okay.
Same lady.
You saying that, I'm like, yeah.
Science Saru, same studio, so that makes sense. That makes sense. But I was sitting there kind of waiting for these last couple episodes of Sanda to end. And then this character comes in, and like as soon as she talked, it's like, well, there's Turbo Granny. And she's like this little tiny Yoda woman that beats
very much a
up.
Yoda character.
And I was like, absolutely. At that point, I don't care about what's happening in that story. But
I think Dan to Dan and Sanda are good to juxtapose against each other, because I think Sanda is what you get when there's when you get an anime without restraint. Yeah. And Dan to Dan is definitely an anime with restraint. Even those few episodes.
Was thinking that as we watched those first couple episodes of Sanda, that it felt like somebody was trying to replicate the success of Dan to Dan and doing it poorly.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to hit on that comedy stuff, but we're almost sort of like a Seth Rogen that thinks that the only way to be funny is to be crude and be sexual. And it's like, no, that's not why Dan to Dan was funny. Dan to Dan was funny because it was just absurd and it caught you off guard, and it really and truly was funny. And felt like Sanda was like trying to be another Dan to Dan.
Well, I'm sure the studio, that's what they were hoping. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. When you have all these studios that are making all this money, Dan to Dan, we looked it up, it was 5.6 million that it made in the theater, completely removed of all of its other properties and selling it to streaming services and all that. So there somewhere is a little happy Japanese guy sitting on a mountain of cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Involved with all of these things. And my hope going forward is that stuff like Sanda gets shoved away, isn't promoted, that the good stuff like Demon Slayer and Dan to Dan and Chainsaw Man continue to have success. And
I'm pretty sure Chainsaw Man will.
And that the insane...
I don't know if I would say Chainsaw Man shows restraint.
No,
I don't think Chainsaw Man shows restraint at all.
But just keep the Western, whatever word you want to take to it, don't let us infect any more of their properties, because they bring us things that are so unique and so creative and so funny or thought-provoking and stuff. And Sanda really seemed like one that was just, it got infected by us. And just hopefully that little stuff like that will fade away from all of this, and it'll still exist in some little hole somewhere. That's fine. Let it exist in a hole. And
I will be finishing Sanda, and I will look into whether or not, like, there's a difference between, like, with the localization. Like, did anything change in localization? That's something between video games and anime I've been very interested in, concerned about in the past few years, is how localizers take creative liberties.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other discussion. But that's it. That's our year in review.
It's our year.
We have.
I'm not gonna say it was a great year as far as entertainment goes. It was there's
ups and downs.
Enough stuff to get you by with a few things that you can enjoy, but still nothing that compares to. And I really feel bad for generations that are kind of coming through this right now, that you don't have a summer where you get like a Terminator 2 and a Last of the Mohicans and a Ghostbusters and things that are just literally like iconic for the rest of your life. There's nothing I listed here that's something we'll be talking about.
No.
at the end of next year. I mean, Shin Godzilla, I will be, but that's a 2016 movie that we're talking about
now.
Yeah, so you hate to see people just not get the good things. That's kind of the reason that I complain, and it's not because I like complaining about stuff. It's because I want my kids to be able to have some of the same enjoyments and the same experiences that I had. And
I don't know, man. Maybe what we need to do moving forward, and this isn't a plan, this is just me putting it out there, is focus solely on older films, because in this coming year and every year after, we're going to have to deal with AI in films, and nothing's going to come of that. Good's going to come of that.
This is kind of a watermark for me. We'll see if they do better next year or worse. And if it's worse than this, then you're hitting some pretty low numbers.
Go to the backlog.
Yeah.
We do. I just picked out one of our stale fortune cookies.
We usually do this on coffee service, and we completely forgot about it.
We did.
But we do have to pick our next topic for January.
Yep.
And this won't be in our appetizers. This will be our main course.
So it won't be next episode. It'll be
hopefully
the following episode.
Hopefully we can break the streak of movies that I know that you've never seen, because that's been our last several episodes.
Yep. So this one's going to be Mystery Men, the completely different trajectory.
What year is that?
1999. Yeah, man. You ever seen it?
I have not. So I've got work to do.
Yeah.
I've said that several times. Like, man, I hope we eventually get something that like is one of yours, because I've drug you through The Empty Man, The Fisher King.
I've enjoyed it.
Midnight Mass. What do we do before Midnight Mass? I can't remember. I know we did like Blade Runner and oh my goodness, the Black Hole movie. Sam Neill. Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. I think that was before Midnight Mass. Event Horizon.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, but we had a couple here in a row that's like, hey, here's another one of my favorite movies that Randy's never seen. Go home and watch the movie, Randy.
Well, if you can't find this one, I will let you borrow my copy.
And same with Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, it's a.
I may send you home with or not Tokyo Ghoul, Tokyo Godfathers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think you wish you'd been able to get that lined up for this show, so you could have thrown in your 2 cents.
Beginning of December, so we have some time.
So you can bring Tokyo Ghoul back to appetizers next time if there's something you want to say about it.
Okay.
It'd be cool. But yeah, Mystery Men superhero thing. The only thing I can remember is like it's the guy from The Simpsons, Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
And like some spoons.
As the Blue Raja. He explains why he's the Blue Raja.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about that. I think I saw a trailer one time, or maybe it was on a series, like a service that we had, and I was like, I missed it and never even thought twice about it since then. So,
well, this isn't a philosophical movie or anything like that. We will be talking about the state of superhero films as it relates to this film, because this film came out in 1999, like before Spider-Man. I mean, this was like a precursor to all those superhero films.
Yeah.
And spoiler, I think it did like Avengers better than the Avengers.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and it really kind of opens up that discussion of these other properties like Watchmen, and we've kind of already covered some Invincible and The Boys and things like that. There are these other superhero spin-offs, whatever you want to call them, alternate properties. I'll have to look a little bit and see if there's. Kind of comes back to one of my favorite. We talked about Unbreakable at some point, didn't we?
That was in our charcuterie, where we just talked about like Aliens and Unbreakable, and it was like these are properties that like fell off.
I thought we had touched on that. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, Unbreakable and Split,
which we could still put those in a fortune cookie and like deep dive into Unbreakable, which I'd love to do. But so, that is for another episode.
This was our oddity, our fifth Monday show. So the rare chance that we get a fifth in a month, which is kind of nice that was the last month of the year to get that extra show in, and give us a chance to kind of review the year and not having to squeeze that in on top of talking about the Fisher King and Tokyo Godfathers and all the appetizers that we had before that. So.
Well, maybe if we didn't have the fifth episode, we wouldn't have watched Standa.
Yeah, I would have.
or my Santa.
Yeah, I might have brought Tokyo Godfathers just around to a main topic or something again.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah, if you've watched any of this, you've got all sorts of suggestions about ways to entertain yourself through the holidays.
Absolutely.
Classic Christmas movies you've never seen, an anime movie that's probably worth checking out.
And some episodes that you might not want to see.
If you'd like to complain to people, there's a Prime series anime that if you can figure out how to complain to Prime, join me in figuring that out and telling them to remove that garbage and throw it away forever.
I'd be happy if they just made it 18 plus. But like you said,
Yeah.
that's the parental controls don't always work. So
yeah. But yeah, interesting year.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, like I said, if things go downhill,
I've got plenty to do, so I've got plenty to watch. So I'm not hurting.
I'm sitting here looking at box sets I have over there that I haven't cracked. I have the entire Dukes of Hazzard series.
I mean, when was the last time you even watched the Lord of the Rings series?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
So, I mean, at some point we might become just a purely nostalgia podcast. That is entirely possible. We'll see.
I'm going to drag you at some point through the Avatar Last Airbender series.
Yeah,
that
needs to be on my list to watch this year.
It's a heavy lift because it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worthy of its own probably whole series of appetizers, main course, coffee service, desserts, because you have Korra and all the other stuff that comes along with it. And there's not too many other properties that I did not talk about this year that kind of remain out there as untouched things. Avatar is one of the only ones of those. There unfortunately is some more material coming, and I think it's going to be corrupted material because of the people that are doing it. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. And
we might also eventually talk about the other Avatar series with the blue people, the blue elves.
That seems like a heavy lift.
I've only ever seen the first one, so I got some others to watch.
I think I saw a little bit of a second one in a hotel, and it was just like, this doesn't.
They came out with a video game this past year, and it was first person, and I'm like, that's weird that for a first person Avatar game where you play one of the blue Na'vi.
Yeah.
And like last Friday or something, they released a patch that put a third person perspective, and it was on sale for Black Friday. It's in the mail. It's coming to me. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm not a fan of the Avatar series, but
it makes
the game looks fun.
Boatload of money every time it comes around, and I don't know if it's because it's just existing in this world of
hey, maybe if
this barren desert of entertainment that it's just something to go do.
Hey, maybe if we talk about it, we'll get more than 9 views. That's for next year.
Yeah. I'm not ready to sit down and watch all 3 of those right now. I've got too much other stuff to do.
I don't know if we'd want to talk all about all the movies. It'd have to be one at a time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been fun, Joel.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2026.
We'll see you.
All right.
Later.